search for the true self. Since the dawn of human consciousness, we've asked, who am I? Why am I here? We seek answers in careers, relationships, possessions. Yet a quiet voice always whispers, the real answer lies within. Carl Gustav Jung, one of the founding fathers of depth psychology, believed that every human has an inner map to their true self. A map hidden in the layers of our unconscious, drawn not in words but in ancient symbols and patterns. The archetypes. Today we journey deep into the world of Jungian psychology to explore how you can use archetypes to discover your truest self. Not the self society demands, but the self you were born to become. Carl Jung and the foundations of the psyche. Before we understand archetypes, we must understand Jung's view of the human psyche. Jung described the psyche as having three main layers: the conscious mind, our thoughts, feelings, and awareness of the present moment; the personal unconscious, memories and experiences unique to our life, but buried out of daily awareness; the collective unconscious, the deep reservoir of shared human experience, filled with archetypes. These archetypes are not learned. They are inherited patterns of behavior and perception, existing across cultures and time. They shape our instincts, our dreams, our fears, and our stories. According to Jung, understanding these archetypes is essential for uncovering the authentic self. The archetypes. The language of the soul. What exactly are archetypes? Archetypes are universal, symbolic images and motifs that emerge in myths, dreams, art, and religions across all cultures. They are the characters of the grand narrative that plays out within every human psyche. Think of the nurturing figure of the mother, the wise sage, the brave hero, or the deceptive trickster. These figures exist across continents, from Native American legends to African folklore, from Eastern philosophies to Western fairy tales. But archetypes aren't just stories we tell. They are forces that shape our very being. They are the energies that guide our choices, challenge our growth, and reflect our deepest truths. By identifying the archetypes active within us, we begin to understand why we feel drawn to certain paths, relationships, or conflicts. The persona. Unmasking the social self. The first archetype we meet on our journey is the persona, the mask we wear to meet the expectations of the outer world. Jung wrote, "The persona is that which in reality one is not, but which oneself as well as others think one is." The persona helps us function in society. It allows us to play roles: the polite neighbor, the professional at work, the charming friend. But problems arise when we become too attached to the mask. Many people mistake their persona for their true identity. But beneath the polished surface, there is much more waiting to be discovered. To know your true self, you must dare to take off the mask and confront what lies beneath. The persona, unmasking the social self. The first archetype we meet on our journey is the persona, the mask we wear to meet the expectations of the outer world. Jung wrote, "The persona is that which in reality one is not, but which oneself as well as others think one is." The persona helps us function in society. It allows us to play roles: the polite neighbor, the professional at work, the charming friend. But problems arise when we become too attached to the mask. Many people mistake their persona for their true identity. But beneath the polished surface, there is much more waiting to be discovered. To know your true self, you must dare to take off the mask and confront what lies beneath. The shadow, meeting the rejected self. Next, we enter darker territory, the shadow. The shadow contains everything about ourselves that we deny, reject, or suppress. Anger, envy, desire, fear. These emotions are often exiled to the unconscious because they conflict with the persona. Jung taught that ignoring the shadow only gives it more power over our lives. He warned, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is." Confronting the shadow is uncomfortable. It demands radical honesty. But it is through this confrontation that we reclaim lost energy and creativity. By integrating the shadow, we step closer to wholeness. The Anima and Animus, inner feminine and masculine. Deep within, every person holds both masculine and feminine qualities. Jung called these anima, the inner feminine in men, and animus, the inner masculine in women. They represent our psychological balance, our emotional depths, and our creative energies. For men, embracing the anima means connecting with sensitivity, intuition, and emotional wisdom. For women, embracing the animus means honoring assertiveness, logic, and strength. Suppressing these energies leads to imbalance and projection onto others. But when we integrate them, we unlock new dimensions of our being. As Jung observed, the encounter with the shadow is the apprentice piece in the individual's development, but the encounter with the anima is the masterpiece. True self-realization demands this inner union. The hero's journey, the path of individuation. Every life is a hero's journey. The hero archetype calls us to venture beyond the familiar, to confront trials, and to grow through adversity. It is the narrative of transformation. In Jungian terms, this journey is called individuation, the process of integrating all parts of the psyche to become a whole individual. Like the hero in every myth, we must leave the safety of our ordinary world, face the dragons of our fears and shadows, and return home with newfound wisdom. Individuation is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming fully yourself. The wise old man and wise old woman, the inner sage. Along the hero's path, we meet the wise old man or wise old woman archetype, the embodiment of inner guidance and timeless wisdom. This figure appears in our dreams, in books we feel inexplicably drawn to, in quiet moments of insight. They remind us to trust our intuition and listen to the quiet voice of the soul. As we mature on the path of individuation, the wisdom of this inner sage becomes clearer. It teaches us that true knowledge is not about accumulating facts, but about understanding the self. Dreams, messages from the unconscious. Jung famously called dreams the royal road to the unconscious. Dreams bypass the defenses of the conscious mind and reveal the archetypes at play in our psyche. Recurring symbols, strange narratives, and emotional themes in dreams are not random. They are messages from the unconscious, guiding us toward integration. Keeping a dream journal, reflecting on dream patterns, and engaging in active imagination are powerful tools Jung recommended for dialogue with the unconscious. Synchronicity, signs from the universe. Life sometimes surprises us with moments of profound coincidence, meaningful events that feel too perfect to be chance. Jung called this synchronicity. These are the moments when our inner state and the outer world align in symbolic ways. A song that plays at the perfect moment, a chance encounter that changes our path. Synchronicity reassures us that the journey toward the true self is not walked alone. The universe, Jung believed, responds to our inner transformation with outer signs. Integration, becoming whole. All paths converge at integration. Integration means accepting and harmonizing the persona, the shadow, the anima or animus, the hero, and the sage within us. It means recognizing that we are not fragments, but a complex and beautiful whole. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Through the lifelong process of integration, we become authentic. Not perfect, but whole. Not flawless, but fully alive." The ongoing journey of self-discovery. The journey to the true self is never fully complete because we are always evolving. Yet with each step, with each act of courage to confront our shadows and embrace our inner wisdom, we come closer to our essence. Carl Jung gave us the map. The archetypes light the way, but it is up to us to walk the path, to venture inward and to meet ourselves, perhaps for the first time. Remember, the true self is not something you create. It is something you uncover, and it has been waiting for you all along. The self, the ultimate archetype of wholeness. In Jung's map of the psyche, all roads lead to one ultimate destination, the self. The self is not just our conscious personality or social identity. It is the totality of the psyche, the union of conscious and unconscious, light and shadow, masculine and feminine, personal and universal. Jung described the self as the transcendental function, the center and circumference of our inner world. When you dream of mandalas, circles, or symbols of unity, these are expressions of the self calling you toward wholeness. It is the deepest guide, the quiet compass within, constantly drawing you toward integration and authenticity. The mandala, symbol of inner unity. Throughout history, humans have been drawn to the image of the circle, the mandala. In Tibetan Buddhism, Christian art, and Native American sand paintings, the mandala represents the universe and the self. For Jung, mandalas were not just art, but psychic expressions of the inner process of individuation. Patients in Jungian analysis often spontaneously drew mandalas as they moved toward healing and integration. As Jung wrote, the mandala serves a conservative purpose, namely to restore a previously existing order, but it also serves the creative purpose of giving expression and form to something that does not yet exist. Creating your own mandalas, even as simple drawings, can connect you with your own inner order. Shadow work, practical steps for integration. Understanding the shadow is only the first step. The true work begins with shadow work. Shadow work means consciously engaging with the hidden parts of yourself to integrate them rather than reject them. Practical methods include journaling your triggers. What irritates or angers you in others often reveals parts of your shadow. Active imagination, a Jungian technique where you visualize conversations with aspects of your shadow self. Creative expression, art, poetry, or music can channel shadow material safely. As Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Only by facing our hidden selves can we reclaim lost energy and authenticity. Projection, seeing ourselves in others. Another powerful concept in Jungian psychology is projection. Projection happens when we unconsciously attribute parts of our psyche, especially the shadow or anima, animus, onto other people. For example, we might demonize someone because they embody traits we reject in ourselves. Or we might idealize a romantic partner because they reflect our unintegrated anima or animus. Jung taught that recognizing projections is key to reclaiming our wholeness. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves, he wisely observed. By noticing where we project, we begin to take responsibility for our own inner material. Individuation and the second half of life. Jung observed that our psychological tasks change with age. In the first half of life, we build our persona, establish careers, form relationships, and engage with society. But in the second half of life, the call of individuation grows stronger. This is when many experience a midlife crisis. Though Jung saw it not as a crisis, but an opportunity. The soul asks, have you listened to your inner self? Have you integrated your shadow? Are you living authentically? Those who heed this call find renewed purpose and meaning. Those who resist may experience anxiety, depression, or a sense of emptiness. True fulfillment lies in answering this inner summons. Mythology and archetypes in modern life. Myths are not dead stories of ancient times. They are living blueprints of the human experience. From Star Wars to Harry Potter, modern stories echo ancient archetypal patterns. The hero faces trials, descends into darkness, meets wise guides, confronts the shadow, and returns transformed. These stories resonate because they mirror our inner journey. Recognizing these patterns in the narratives you love can reveal which archetypes are most alive in your psyche. The collective unconscious. We are all connected. The collective unconscious teaches us a profound truth. Our personal struggles are never entirely personal. They echo the shared struggles of humanity, the fear of the unknown, the longing for love, the quest for meaning. When you work on integrating your own psyche, you contribute to the healing of the collective. As Jung wrote, the individual who wishes to have an answer to the problem of evil has need, first and foremost, of self-knowledge. That is, the utmost possible knowledge of his own wholeness. In healing ourselves, we help to heal the world. The role of creativity in self-discovery. Jung saw creativity as a bridge to the unconscious. Whether through painting, writing, dancing, or dreaming, Creative expression bypasses the rational mind and gives voice to the archetypes within. You don't need to be a professional artist. Simply engaging in creative play can awaken insights buried deep in the psyche. As Jung said, the creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. Follow your creative instincts. They are the language of your soul. The alchemy of the psyche. Jung was deeply fascinated by alchemy, seeing it not as literal transformation of metals, but as symbolic of psychological transformation. The alchemist stages, nigredo, blackening, albedo, whitening, rubedo, reddening, reflect the stages of individuation, nigredo, the dark night of the soul, confronting the shadow, albedo, purification and clarity, integrating unconscious material, rubedo, wholeness and rebirth of the true self. Understanding these stages helps us make sense of life's difficult transitions as necessary steps in our personal alchemy.